What I want to tell you is, how I started was I said to myself, Monday, Stories on Stage, how do I want to open it? And after my third or fourth rendition of things, I thought, maybe a list of words. I actually did think I would do that. But no, I love poetry. So I want to start with this. I love the opening of the book of Genesis. I like the rhythm. I like its flow. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth was without form and void. And the Spirit of God hovered over the deep, and he said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Sometimes when I get stressed, I repeat this to myself just because I like that feeling of the darkness, the places you don't know, things you can't see, and you want to look ahead and you don't know what's coming. And I don't know why those words comfort me, but they do. So I decided I would open with those. And something else. So what I said was, words bring laughter to my life. I've had a lot of stress and a lot of reasons for stress, but I love words. And so I write. I love words. Big words, small words. Words that laugh, words that jiggle, words that tickle in the middle. I love words. Fast words, slow words, words that saunter, words that wander, words of wisdom, words that ponder, words that dance, words that bounce, words with rhythm, words that pounce. Of all God made, words exuberant, bring me joy. Of all God made, my favorite toy. I love words. This simple poem that I wrote decades back, just playing with words, it kind of expresses a lot of who I am and what I hoped for in life. Excuse me. When my children were small, words mattered so much. I wanted to be one of those mothers that sit with a kid on either side at bedtime, and you got a book in the middle, and you're just reading to them. That's not what I got. Anyway, my mother and grandmother, they taught me how to read. They taught me how to spell and how to count. We did that in the car, just kind of in random moments, going to the food store, going to the cottage, going anywhere at all. They would make up games. And I loved that idea, and that's what I really wanted for myself. We would do coming up to the light, countdown. Coming up to the train tracks or a tunnel, countdown. We would have, they would say, how long do you think it's going to take till we get to? And we would count. 1, 2, 3, 98, 99, 100, starting small at first. But when we got there, for the tunnel, you'd have to wait, and as you got to the tunnel, we would all go, woo, woo! And if we got to the train tracks, my mom and my grandma and me and my sister, we would yell, bumpity bump, because you go over it and they, So when I had kids, I dug really deep into my curiosity and my determination and all the ideas I wanted to have about being a mom. Determination, especially for my oldest son. I'm going to wing it in a bit. He was born with some issues, cranial synostosis. I got to learn a lot of new words with my oldest son. Audiologist, hearing impairment, ASL. Yeah, we learned a lot of words with my kids. My littlest one, who's now 6'2", he was signing already at 6 months old. my oldest, he just turned 37. And how I started out with lists, I had books, lots of books and lists. Hand over hand, modeled, spontaneous. How did the words and the signs come? How did they appear? It was difficult because all I seemed to be doing was creating lists of words. I kind of feel like that as a writer sometimes. I got a good list of things that makes it look like I do a lot of writing, but mostly it lives in my computer. It doesn't go anywhere. But my littlest one, yeah, his first word was food, baby sign, not the whole thing. Usually you make food. Yeah, and he didn't eat very much. I used to tease people that he lived off static electricity straight out of the air, and I had a doctor who said, why don't you give $5 to like 3 families on your street and send them over there, because when he'd go, he'd eat. His brother would sign. My oldest son, Jacob, he's pretty amazing. He would sign, but not consistently, not all the time, not when I needed him to. Instead of saying, can I have some juice or some milk? Oh no, he would grab my wrist and run full out, dragging me up the stairs till I thought I was going to trip over myself. Yeah. And that would be from when he was 5 and 10, all the way up to the last few years. He's been 7 years in a group home now. Went there, our family kind of blew up. Took himself there, lovely kid. Got on his bike from Acton, 6 p.m. at night, rode all the way down 25 to Campbellville Side Road to get help because he was really stressed and had lost it on me because we were putting in an application for housing for ourselves. There's a ton of words that I've used in life and a ton of things I've written about. And yeah, I love writing when I'm stressed. When I'm stressed, I'll write poems. I've written poems, too many poems about grief. The occasional poem, like the one I read at the beginning, where it just plays, just because. Most of my life, words have been repetition, 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 tell me again, you know, like trying to get Jacob to express himself, sign words. And it was hard because Joshua, I remember when he joined the deaf preschool in Toronto at 2, and he says, Mom, we went to the zoo today. Guess what I learned? I said, what did you learn, Joshua? I learned how to sign zoo. Do you know how to sign zoo, Mom? Yeah. He says, you spell it. Z-O-O. Yeah, I know, Josh. He says, that's zoo. Isn't that interesting? It's a sign, but you spell it. It's a word. Yeah. His brother didn't do that. He finally, around 13, learned some language off a little, like a little Bible group church they had with umpteen kids from community living and a few from the Bob Rumble group home that Jacob's in. His first actual words, I would count them as words, were from this song. God is so great, so strong, and so mighty. And he's just copying the movements. And I thought to myself, here's a kid who is deaf, but he loves music, and he loves action, and he loves things, but he doesn't use it to sign. When he was with some of his workers, how many minutes? when he was working with his one-to-one workers, I was so impressed. One of them said to me, "Do you know Jacob says yes?" "Yeah, do you?" She goes, "Yeah, like this." And I went, how did you notice that? His sum total of how he signed yes was a blink. He was a very shy child in some ways, but he was very outgoing and others brave. He went through about 15 surgeries, 2 for cranial synostosis, 1 to reposition his eyes, maybe 10 for ears. His ears were, yeah. Cranial synostosis pulls your head out of alignment, so he was always getting ear infections. When he finally went into the group home and had other people than family around him, and he started to sign, it was slow. He's been there 7 years, and this year, at 37, he's given me joy. Twice. I got him his birthday present, just some clothes, end of November, and he says, "These will be good for winter." And I was like, whoa, these will be good for winter? I mean, that's pretty impressive. You're thinking about something, it's a concept, you're expressing something you like. Yeah, and then a week ago, we went for a walk. He says I need to walk. I need to be more healthy and watch my food. I do. He's not wrong. And so we came up to Guelph for Milton this time because he likes walking. He's always like, "The trees are healthy. We need to do a tree walk." "Yes, Jacob, we'll go for a tree walk. And we'll go to the boathouse," because we both love the boathouse, for our tea. And he looks at me as we go in the door, and he says, "Did you eat lunch?" Because we were going to just have a snack. And I said, "No, not breakfast either." And he looks at me. As somebody who, from the time I was little, loved words, loved play with words, loved expressing words, and can't believe that my friends actually like reading my words as much as they do. The thing that most impresses me about words is how little we understand the amazing place of language, where something as simple as, "Did you eat lunch?" With the right look your kids can give you. There's a power in that. There really is. There's power. And of all the things I've done in my life with words, I think that kind of takes the cake. That's the top. I just love that my kids got some words finally.